Welcome to Stock Knowledge and News with Arieous Invest, your trusted source for updates, earnings reports, and actionable insights to sharpen your stock market game. Join us as we explore market trends, decode the latest news, and empower your financial journey with expert stock knowledge. This is Trading Reimagined. Let's get started.
All right, so welcome back, everybody, to another Deep Dives. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some recent news coming out of Google.
Okay.
Specifically, we're talking about Google Cloud and, staff reductions.
Right.
And this is particularly interesting because, you think about cloud computing.
Yeah.
This is like the future.
It is.
It's supposed to be a huge growth market.
Absolutely.
And you've got Google, one of the biggest tech companies in the world,
right,
deciding to reduce their staff in this area.
Hmm.
So maybe just to kind of kick things off for folks who maybe aren't as familiar with cloud computing.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a quick, what is it?
Yeah. So at its core, cloud computing is basically just delivering different computing services over the internet.
Okay.
So you're talking about things like servers, storage databases, networking software, all of that good stuff. And it's delivered as a service, which means that businesses and individuals can access these resources on demand without having to manage their own physical infrastructure.
So instead of having like a server sitting in a closet in your office, you're basically, renting space on someone else's server.
You got it.
Okay, cool.
And there are different layers to cloud computing. You have the infrastructure level, which is kind of like the foundation. That's what we call IaaS, or infrastructure as a service.
Okay.
And then you have the platform level, PaaS, or platform as a service.
Got it.
And then the software level, SaaS, or software as a service.
Okay.
So basically, you can think of it as building blocks.
Okay.
IaaS is the foundation. PaaS is the platform that you build on.
Right.
And SaaS is the actual software application.
So if we're thinking about something like Google Docs,
exactly,
that would be like a SaaS.
That's a perfect example of SaaS.
Okay, cool. So where does Google Cloud fit into all of this?
So Google Cloud is a major player in the cloud computing market. Specifically, they're really strong in the IaaS space.
Okay.
So they're providing that fundamental infrastructure that other companies use to build their online presence.
Okay, so in this piece from Arieous Invest, they're talking about these staff reductions.
Right.
And I guess what makes it so kind of puzzling is that, this is an area that's expected to grow so much.
Yeah, it's a little counterintuitive. You think with all this growth, they'd be hiring more people.
Right.
Not letting people go.
Yeah.
So it definitely raises some questions.
It could be some of the reasons.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, typical corporate restructuring.
Okay.
Sometimes companies just need to streamline their operations, maybe merge some departments, maybe shift their focus a little bit.
Yeah.
But, in this case, it seems like it could be more than just that.
Yeah.
Because, they're not just, tweaking things around the edges.
Right.
They're actually reducing their workforce.
Yeah.
So it could be that they're really trying to recalibrate their overall cloud strategy.
And that could be because of, there's a lot of competition in the cloud space, right?
Absolutely.
You've got Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure.
Right.
And these are some big names.
Huge players. And they're all vying for that same market share.
So it could be that Google's feeling the heat.
It's definitely possible. They're not giving us specific numbers.
Right.
But it's clear that these staff reductions are significant.
And it's not just about the numbers.
Right. No, absolutely not. We're talking about people's livelihoods.
Yeah.
These are individuals with families, mortgages, plans for the future, and suddenly they're finding themselves out of a job.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the human cost of these kinds of decisions.
It does. And, it makes you wonder about the culture at Google Cloud, too. Was this handled well?
Right.
Was there adequate support provided to these employees? These are questions that, we can only speculate about.
Yeah, and it's a reminder that even in, this fast-paced tech world, these business decisions have real-world consequences.
Very real consequences. And, if we zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture, this move by Google could have ripple effects throughout the entire cloud computing landscape.
How so?
Well, for one thing, their competitors, like Amazon and Microsoft,
right,
they might see this as an opportunity. to try and grab some market share.
Okay.
Or even, engage in a price war.
Oh, price war. That would be interesting.
It could be good for consumers, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
But it could also lead to a race to the bottom, where companies are sacrificing quality and innovation
Right.
just to stay competitive.
So I guess the big question is, what does this all mean for the future of cloud computing?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball,
Right.
but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like these staff reductions aren't just an isolated event. It makes you wonder if this could be a sign of, a broader shift in the tech industry.
It could be, maybe a correction after a period of really rapid growth.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Definitely.
So for our listeners out there, put yourself in Google's shoes for a second. What moves would you make to stay ahead in this cloud computing game?
Yeah, what's your strategy? It's a tough one,
It is.
but it's a fun one to think about.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. And we'll be sure to keep you updated as this story develops.
Absolutely.
Until then, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.
Arieous Invest. Trading reimagined.